Hey guys, it's XJ9. This is gonna be a really fast video as normal, and yeah, we're just gonna go right into it. Okay, this was 10 hours ago, but better late than ever. I was sleeping. Aphelios is probably always gonna get nerfed with every patch just because he can do everything. His sniper rifle gun, it doesn't really scale anymore at all. It just has a flat 15 and a point 0.2 bonus AD ratio. So if he's using it to harass you in lane, you aren't gonna get absolutely chunked. It'll still take some damage, but it's not nearly as bad because it does less damage at all states of the game. It doesn't scale at all, and it's point 0.2 attack damage to point 0.3. The cooldown's also way higher than before. It's from 10 to 8 seconds, 7, 9 to 6, which that's really big. His Chakarm, it now from 130 to 264, total 80 to 130 to 223. And this mostly impacts him against melees and probably even like later on the game, because if he has crit, that would deal a lot of damage. So that's actually quite a big nerf to the Chakarm. And his scythe pistol, all that happened was a point. It went from 0.35 bonus 80 to 0.3 80 per hit, and the base damage is still the same. So it's a very little trim. All that happened to Draven was his ultimate does more damage at rank 2 and 3 as it scales with zero point 0.2 more AD each rank. Probably just because the skin sales weren't doing that well, honestly. Um, Jinx. Now if your team gets a Rift Herald kill or a dragon or a baron, she now her passive triggers now, and it's only if your team gets it. So that's actually quite big. As in, like now it's like when she goes the focus dragon or baron, you can actually turn if you get the dragon like and just destroy. So that's actually quite a big buff, even though it's not a big power level. But like since this game is more focused on objective taking, particularly the fast respawning, Rift Heralds and Dragons, it's actually quite big. Karma's Q and W damage got increased. The base damage it's by 10 on each rank of both of them. And I don't know. All people do when they see this is just play more tank Karma. And then people will never play AP Karma ever. And I don't know. She's like one of those champions that probably needs a rework just because tank Karma is just, I don't know, stupid in my opinion. Lulu, all that was is a slight base stat adjustment just to make it even from 28.22 armor to 29. Attack damage from 46.368 to 47. The big buff though, like that isn't really much of a buff. I mean, probably the big buff is, I mean, it's something. It's pretty much one armor and 80. But her E is now 8 seconds instead of 10 seconds all ranks, and that just helps her shield allies a lot more and putting picks on people. So you might actually see a lot more Lulu, especially given that they buff shield power a lot with the items. Nautilus, they are nerfing his Q damage by it's 10 on level 1, and then it's 15, then 20, then 30, and 25, then 30 damage at each rank. So that's quite a bit, especially considering, I believe he does max it first, so that's good. Qiyana, this nerf was like confusing a lot of people. A lot of people are like, oh, well, that doesn't do anything, oh, blah, blah, blah. Qiyana, like, they're talking about Qiyana mid. Qiyana mid isn't even really played that often at all, especially in like pro play. It's mostly a jungle pick because it's like a flex pick so they can counter mid or something like that. And so this nerf actually really hurts jungle. It's from 20% attack speed to 5 to 25%. It might not have been that bad if leveling W gave her more than just like it does something else than just attack speed. I believe. I think it's a very slight damage boost. I think like 4 damage on your next attack as long as you change forms, but it's very minor. So you definitely wouldn't max this even second. So her jungle clear probably suffers a lot from that. That 15% attack speed minus on a jungler is absolutely insane because you have to realize that she would pretty much always have this on. So, I mean, they even said like, oh, to keep her running around in the woods. So I don't know if they want Qiyana to be a jungle anymore. I don't know. We'll see how that pans out. Her win rate was really bad anyway, though. because people are playing in ranked but don't understand that why she was being playing in pro play. Sona got a big buff. It went from 10 to 14% movement speed on herself and a .03 ability power ratio per 100 ability power from to 25% and a .04 ability per 100 ability power. And that's actually ridiculously huge. That means like when someone's going after you, you can probably easily run away behind your AD carry and start shielding them and stuff. So this buff really helps her get past the early game, honestly, against like kill lanes and stuff, and just position correctly. Because a lot of people think Sona's weak, but the thing with Sona is that she's only strong like early, not early, medium and late game, and that's pretty much like past the 10-minute mark. And a lot of people feed on Sona, so hopefully it stops people from feeding. Because a lot of people just act like I don't know. People just need to chill. Honestly, that's really all. All is with Thresh is just the pulse fire was the pulse fire Thresh was essentially pay to win for a little bit, and that was it. Just pay to win fixes. Trundle, he's getting his W Frozen Domain from 20 to 40% movement speed to 30 to 50. So it's essentially just 10. You know, like it's from like each rank is 10. It still goes up by 5 per rank, but it's 10 higher flat. So yeah, that's pretty big, honestly, because now his rank 1W is essentially a rank 3W, which is really insane if you think about it. And E Pillar Vice from 15% to 55 to 20 to 60. And they claim it's to help him. He's been struggling. He's actually been played in pro play a decent bit. He's even strong against like a lot of people act like he's only good against tanks, but no, he's actually good against certain matchups. And because his ultimate does a lot of damage, and even the small decreasing someone's armor, even if they have very little armor, it still does a lot. It still does damage, and he takes away your AD. So again, against certain matchups, he was being picked. I think this is mostly a buff again because of the new skin he got, Quinstance, by the way. So just saying. Victor, this was a bug fix I actually saw on the boards. It's pretty much he wasn't getting enough, like he was losing like 300, 400 mana if he bought the Hex Core too early, which was interesting. And all Ziggs is 10 more damage on his Q at all ranks. Enemy knockback distance on his Satchel Charge is increased to 500 from 400. And the slow is increased by 10% on each rank on his E. So it's actually really big buffs yet again, because again, like his slow on his E is like a rank 3E, and the Q damage is just nice, just so, because sometimes, I don't know, like, for instance, I don't even see Ziggs anymore, so you probably will know, but yeah, that does help you, especially if you're like behind. Cloak Agility was being like abused, I think, I'm not sure how this was, because it was probably being abused on certain characters or something like that, but then they worded it like, some people were having issues like thinking on whether or not it would pickaxe or a Cloak of Agility was better, but they want it to be obvious that BF sword, pickaxe, and then cloak agility is the way to go. So yeah, I mean, it probably just it's really whatever. This is a tune-up. It kind of hurts AD carries, I guess, a bit. Probably more so Yasuo, because you would just have to build 2 of these and he's done. Frozen Heart gets 10 more armor. Frozen Heart's a weird item because it's like sometimes I wish they kind of maybe reworked the item to not even give mana, because a lot of champions don't even need the mana, honestly, because like if you're playing a tank, you usually just build an Abyssal Mass. Like if you're playing top lane, which pretty much finishes your mana issues, and the Frozen Heart's mana is worthless. I feel like they should really just get rid of the mana and just give us something else. But it's interesting. Maybe I'll try out a build like Cinder Hulk, Black Cleaver, Frozen Heart on like a champion like Sip against a lot of AD or something, just because it's hard to get cooldown reduction on them. Storm Razor's attack damage is lowered by 5, and the visual effects can be seen in Fog of War, so slight nerf. Rift Herald has a lot less HP from 8,250 and 16,500, and it's been nerfed to 7,125 to 14,250. That's very big, and that pretty much means it'll probably be killed like 5, 8 seconds faster. So it's more priority on that because that's always been an issue. As in, like, it's just hard to weigh on how worth it is to get. The bug fixes were a lot of actually balance fixes, especially with Caitlyn. Caitlyn no longer gets bonus headshots by inputting the attack move command near the target while they're trapped and netted simultaneously. Again, that's a really obscure case. That was probably maybe a hidden power. Caitlyn no longer can use attack move to attack trapped or netted targets while she is crowd controlled. Braum can no longer intercept Elder Dragon's fireball with E Unbreakable and die from it instead of the ally he was protecting. Um, I'm not sure if that means that he won't die and the ally will die, or he'll just take the hit and he'll block it fully. I don't know. They don't really say. My guess though is that he would just block it and it wouldn't kill him because the execute effect would be applied to him, but it shouldn't work because he's not below the threshold. The one other interesting question though. I mean, the interesting thing is it says Braum can no longer intercept Elder Dragon's Fireball with E. So maybe it just doesn't work. I don't know. Because if he could intercept it, it would probably mean he would still die if he had his E and was in the threshold. But they didn't really word that good. After casting W or Snapshot with Q, Piltover Peacemaker, Caitlyn's base attacks are no longer temporarily slower than they should be. Interesting. Silas's W Kingstar now properly goes on cooldown, deals damage, and heals him if he hits the same target with E2 Obscend. That's a weird bug. Silas is probably unable to cast E2 Obscend into Q Chainlash after casting a stolen ultimate after losing the ability to do so in 10.1. This was a weird bug. Misfortune's basic attacks no longer continues to apply bonus damage from Nami's E Tide Caller's Blessing after consuming 3 stacks of passive love tap. Um, I think how that was work. Wait, Misfortune's base attacks. I'm not really quite sure what that means. Like, because when I read this, I think it just means like she can get like Nami's E would run out and her Nami damage is still applying because of the passive of Misfortune. I don't know, and sure, some weird bug though that was making her do more damage. Um, Upgrade Relic Shield. The support items now properly show their vision range indicator. Lux's E now no longer reveals areas outside of its range, so I'm not sure how big that is. They don't really specify. This was a bug I thought it was really weird in so many games. Prototype Omnistone granted Predator now has a proper cooldown regardless of when the user upgrades its boost. Yeah, sometimes I think because if you go Omnistone, like I like doing Omnistone Vi, you would get the boots at like 8 or 12:30 just because you get the boot enchantment, and so you would have it pretty late. But one thing I noticed is that I would get Predator, use Predator, and then I would get Predator again. And I'm not sure. I don't think that's intended. I believe that if you read the Omnistone Wikipedia, it says that you need to alternate between 5 we call it keystones to get the same one again. So I think that was a bug when you get 2 back to back like that, and it was always happening with Predator. Garen's Q Decisive Strike is no longer blocked by spell shielded champions. I guess the damage is being fully blocked, which is a bug. Cassiopeia heals for the proper amount from casting E Twin Fang on large monsters. That's interesting. Using E Shampoo to kill a target no longer makes Kenry unresponsive for a few moments. Target R maximum damage always factors in passive Noxian Might, not only when the latter is active. So that's good that it does that just because it makes it easier. It's more so to help people realize how much damage they're going to do when they get it because the 80 he gets from his passive is dependent on his level, so it's hard to calculate even for experienced players. Champions can no longer ignore any force movement, crowd control, a taunt, fleet charm by using any targetable summoner spells, i.e. smite, ignite, exhaust on a target that is out of their range. What the fuck is that? I wonder how many people have been doing that. You hear that? Champions can no longer ignore any force moving crowd controllers, so taunt, flee, charm, by using any untargetable summoning spells like Smite Exhaust, Ignite on a target that was out of their range. I wonder how many people are doing that. Yeah, that's like the cheesiest shit. I wonder how long it's been in the game. Casting Q Bone Skewer no longer makes Pike unresponsive for a few moments. Various champion abilities are no longer visible or audible in Fog of War if cast outside their field of vision. This is something I did see a lot of my games. Like sometimes I would see a Kha'Zix W, sometimes I would see a Nocturne Q, the particle, not the pool, but I would see the particle, which is really weird. So that I swear that's like a bug like every single patch. So good luck with that. Completing any of the support items quests and then selling it to repurchase a different support item would no longer automatically complete the quest for that second support item. That was a really cheesy thing. There's probably like good on champions like I don't know, Strock or something. Who knows? And that's it. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Bye guys. Leave a comment. Bye.